Hello, I'm back again, working on the restored Enterprise D, and this time I am working on the panels. The missing panels. So what I've done with the Reliant damage decals is I used the side of the box and circled all the ones that have to be on the Reliant, which leaves all these other ones to use for the missing panel on the port nacelle and down here near the transporter emitter. So I'm going to go away, look at the reference images, which I'll need to cut out a proper decal, and I'll come back when those two things are applied, and then we start doing the dry brushing on the front of the saucer. There we are, the missing port nacelle panel, exposed wiring and everything. I'm glad the Reliant decals had that detail, and the exposed wiring there. So now it's time to use the brown folk art paint and slowly do the front rim of the saucer with the Viridian 3 dust. And maybe the matte black along the very front rim to simulate burning through the atmosphere. Alright, so I didn't make it so heavy on the bottom. Maybe I should have. It's heavier on the top because it smashed its way through the windows, got all the dirt that landed on it, and you see the black rim on the saucer front middle edge as it burned its way through the Viridian 3 atmosphere. So, there you go. And now it's time to put on the Syracuse decals. So I'll be back with that. Well, it's not pretty, but there you go. You've got the Syracuse registries on there on the neck. Well, you can see the Syracuse name under the gray pointing device right around there. And if you flip it around to the other side, I have to prop it up so everything has a chance to dry. Give me a moment. There. There you go. See? So you can see the Syracuse name on the neck, and you can see the Syracuse registry on the star drive nacelle. So, and with the addition of the Viridian 3 dust and the saucer burn, the restored Enterprise D is complete. So that is a great thing. There you go. And I'll get beauty shot pictures when everything's all done. And that'll be the end of the video. But it's all complete. I leave for the convention in 2 days. I think Terry Matalas is there on Friday, even though LeVar Burton is not there till Saturday. All I have to do is have them sign their names on the base, not their character names, because after all, as long as their actor names are legible, I'll know who was responsible for it. So, that's all for now, and see you later. Alright, I'm back. There's one more thing I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to install the bottom phaser decals. But if you look, there is a set of phaser decals that are more faded than the other. You see? These ones. So I'm going to have to install them according to their instructions from P&T Decals onto the bottom. You see? See, no all good things stripes on them, so we're lucky there. And if you look carefully, there are no horseshoes either. But only on the bottom, because they showed up perfectly blended into the hull on the top. So, but they clearly, I just watched the video again, and they clearly showed up on the bottom of the ship. Anyway. Okay, so that is that. I'm not painting them though. With the Aztec decals already applied, you don't want anything to get under the paint and wreck it. I mean, under the Aztec decal and wreck it. So only using a decal. So I'll probably do that later today. And we'll see how it looks. Bottom only. Hello everyone, it's Sean. I'm back again. And I'm here to actually paint the phasers of the restored Enterprise D. Because it turns out that, watching the episode again, proved that they have to be painted. They can't be left the plain hull color. Now, I know it calls for medium gray. That's what it calls for on the instructions. I'll show you that right now. Of course, all the round 2 instructions these days are on the side of the box. But you see right there? Medium gray. But if you look at the color of the phasers, that is a lot darker than medium gray. Which means I have to find something. So if I look into my Tamiya paints, ocean gray, and neutral gray, and ocean gray again, which is the same as I already have. So there's that, and there's that. Now this one is more of a bluish gray, which almost matches what's on the box. But if you look at what's on the box compared to the grays I have, you know, that is almost a black. Now I only have a couple things that are almost black. I'll show you. I have all right, let's put everything aside for a moment here. I have dark iron, which is the same color as the inside of the RCS thrusters on Voyager. See? And that is almost the same color as the phasers on the Enterprise. However, it's entirely possible that these decals might also end up being that same color. So what I might do is I might do a switch, because what you look at is you realize that the phaser decals on the saucer are slightly brownish compared to the phaser decals on the star drive, because the saucer decals went through the Viridian 3 crash. But what I'm going to do first is I am going to focus on doing some test painting, and we'll see how it turns out. So I'll be right back with that. Alright, so there is the phasers colors. And as you can see, the dark iron is the closest to the decal color. But what I'm actually going to do is test fit a decal on the bottom first, see how it looks. If that prevents painting in any way, that'll be even better. So I'm going to do that now, and we'll see what it looks like. I had to modify the guide a bit. 66 is on the bottom. You can see 66 there. And then there's 65, which goes on the top, which you can see there. And 64A and 64B go on the top saucer. Now I don't know what those two are for, because those say 67. So unless there's two of them, we'll find out. Maybe some are spares. So the phaser is applied. It is slightly brownish. It's not the medium, nearly black, but I think it's good. It will certainly stand out, and I can do it all along the bottom saucer and the bottom star drive and everything. So I'm going to do these ones next. We'll see how it turns out. I'll be back. All right, I'm back again. Time to apply the second decal. Well, it does stand out, that's for sure. Which is good, that's what you want. You want the phasers to stand out. And I'm using the slightly faded second set from Federation models because, you know, it's not like the Enterprise D looked when it was first launched. It's been 30 years. It had to be recovered from Viridian 3, so it's not in pristine condition. So the phasers would be slightly faded with age as a result. But no, I'm quite pleased. I don't know if at this small scale you'll be able to see any of the detail of the phasers, of course. But there are the two aft phasers on the star drive hull applied. So now I do these ones, which the openings have aligned quite nicely on the Aztec decal, so you know exactly where to put it. So actually, not painting them was good because it prevents a lot of paint leakage. And they will be slightly brownish, not quite the black they were, but that's okay. You've got some of the detail that you can see anyway. The key distinguishing factor of the restored Enterprise D is the white escape pods, which you can clearly see here. The saucer dirt from the Viridian 3 crash, the burnt leading edge of the saucer from going through the atmosphere, and the saucer dirt that is more prevalent on the top because it made its way through the atmosphere and Jordy couldn't clean it all off. All right, so I'll be back with more. It's too bad they didn't come with phaser decals in the model kit itself, that I had to source them out from elsewhere, but that's all right. It gives you some of the detail anyway. Because after all, the Viridian 3 saucer of the Enterprise D would retain the original characteristics mostly, including the slightly bluish-gray Aztec scheme, one that's actually more visible against the plain hull of the ship. Now, I know that there wasn't a lot of difference between the dark ghost gray saucer and the light ghost gray star drive. Hardly any difference at all. Well, there wasn't much I could do about that. All I could really do is try to see if there is any difference. But there really isn't. But at least the Aztec decals for the most part went over top of the phasers, but left the phaser section ready. So that's oh, and some phasers just came off on me, so I have to be more careful when I'm holding it. All right, everything got back on. Now it's time to do the other two. I want to do the phaser decals and not the phaser painting because it's neater. And since the Aztec decals were already applied before I realized I had to do the phasers, it's better to compensate with the decals in either case. Now I know the Federation model stuff is a lot older than anything else that these model kits have. It's probably I don't know, that site's been around for about 20 years. Again, you don't want another hour-and-a-half video, especially not when it's just phasers, so I'll be back. Alright, so there is the bottom star drive phasers, at least on the nacelle sections. Now I have to do this one, which is number 66, and there should only be one of them, because remember, the top and bottom phasers are in segments. Number 66, there it is. So far it's working out. I mean, I did this once before for my 2500 scale old Enterprise D, but what I did is I had actually painted the phasers gold first underneath, and I used the All Good Things phaser trim. Don't remember where I got it from. But what I'm doing in this case is, you see the difference. Here's the difference. Just the phaser decal with gold under it. It really looks a different color. You see? See? That's good. There you go. All right. So it's going to settle to a more grayish brown as time goes by. You can see the phaser horseshoes if you wanted to use the Generations look on them. Of course, that's not what I'm doing in this case, because I didn't see any trace of them on the episode. I didn't. And it's not listed on any of the guides either. And if you look at the box, let's take a look at the box. There's nothing on the box that I can see that indicates a phaser horseshoe in any way. Here we go. Here's the best view of the top saucer. Again, no phaser horseshoe, but indeed the white decals. So let's compare how the phasers are going to look with the box. And that's pretty close. I don't want to make them the really, really harsh black, so that's pretty close. Good. All right. Excellent. All right. With the bottom star drive complete, it's time to turn to the top star drive phasers, which means you start choosing from among the arc. And I'm going to start with number 59. I'm going to start with number 59 so that I can start at the edges with each one and go sequentially. And if there's any trimming to be done, it will be done on decal number 61. So let's see, you need 59 and 60. Well, they're not actually applied in order, are they? Then there's this huge one that... Strange. Ah, 63, okay. So I will cut out the ones I need and I'll be right back. Well, I just found out how old these decals are. It says 2006 by the PNT symbol. So not as old as I thought, but almost 20 years old. My goodness. But that's all right. Because the point is, they're the only phaser decals I could find. And now I just need number 61 to be cut out. Okay, so here we go. Alright, there we go. So let's see, what do we have for the top saucer? How many segments are on the top saucer? Top saucer has, so 58, 57, 56, 55, 54, and 53. So top saucer has 6. You can see 6 here, and you can see one with a rounded edge, one with a rounded edge, and then 4 middle segments. So I don't know what that one's for. That might be a spare or something. Anyway, I'll start soaking the saucer bottom. That's all I'm doing today. I'll do the saucer top tomorrow. Now, if I take a closer look at the guide, which you can see here, I know, shadows. You can see how there are some markings on the secondary hull that I didn't quite get to. Even some kind of, I don't know, transport emitters or something, but there's only so much I can do with only 2 days left before I start the journey. And they weren't part of the Enterprise D. You see? They weren't part of the model. They didn't come with the thing. 71, wait a minute. Well, I guess you could do 71. Maybe you can even do 44. I may have to do a bit more than I thought. I may have to bring, but I don't see where those decals, oh, there they are. So you may have to bring some along. Wait, that's a 71. Can't be 71. It was mentioned to be number, it says 71, but 71 is RCS thruster, so that must be a central. Well, you don't have everything. I mean, it's not complete. They don't have all the markings, but then again, Jordy didn't complete everything. He didn't close all the panels on the thing, so I'm just going to do the phaser decals, and that's going to be pretty well all I'll have time for between the top and bottom for tomorrow. I don't want to be trying to fiddle with the ship while I'm on the road, at the hotel each evening. That would be just too much, that would be too much trouble. Don't want to do that. I can complete it when I'm back, after it's signed, just like Jordy would no doubt have completed the ship when he got back. Now, I want to make sure that the ship has what I need. Because remember, a lot of the Aztec decals should have had these transport emitters and stuff included in them. So if they didn't, it's not on me. I wish they segmented them on the guide so that you could tell where they're supposed to go. Now that's between those 1, 2, 3, 4 banks of escape pods. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So right about there. That's the midpoint of the saucer. So that does seem like it's aligned correctly. All right, so that's 59. Of course, what I'm going to do is apply the micro sol here so that it can actually be applied to the phaser decal and actually hug it down on top of the raised section, like so. Okay. So I'll move on to 63, and then we'll get that picture. And I'll check the decals I have for any missing tail decals. I may have to turn to something else to get that to work. Because you can see how with G-cals, there's D71 right there. So I may have to use the one from the Syracuse. All right. Well, I found 44 and 71. You can see those there from the Syracuse realm. And I am probably going to be working on those tiny little decals, if I can get them to work, throughout my trip next week. Because, quite frankly, I forgot about them. I thought once the Aztecs were down, it was just the registries and that was it. But now I notice there's a bit more to account for, so I'll have to account for it. But that's all right. I mean, that's something to keep me busy on the weeknights. I anticipated having to work on a model on the weeknights, but I thought that was going to be the Enterprise Voyager. But with Kate Mulgrew having canceled, and that's confirmed to be on the GalaxyCon webpage now under the celebrity section. But I am going to get an autograph from one of the wrestlers. And I'm going to show you right now which one. Be right back. There is the wrestler I'm going to get an autograph from at the convention. Bret Hart himself. And I'm getting this signed from my mom. Of course, I'm not going to post this video until after her birthday. And I'm going to get a picture with him for myself. So that's good there. And there's decal 63 already. But I don't mind doing a few little decals while I'm on the road. What else is there to do at the hotel each night, especially if it's just off the interstate? Because in 2 days I hope to go and see Mission Impossible 7 at the Salmon Run Mall Theater in Watertown. That's night number 1, which means tomorrow, or even this evening, I'll have to book that hotel once I pick it. Good thing I'm doing it on the weekdays, not that busy. Alright, so there's the first 2 phaser decals applied. And I'm going to apply D71 and 44 now, and then I can start on this side. We'll see how much trimming I have to do the middle one, but I don't want to trim the others. And it's still the Syracuse neck, so it is a darker color than the rest of the ship. So that's something to consider as well. Because if I look, I'm going to look at the decals now for the Enterprise D. Just give me 1 second. Even on the light gray for the Adventurer, they're still dark from GCals. So, graphic detailed decals from the from Federation Models. So let's see here. Let's take a look at the colors. Yeah, you see, most of them are a lighter color. That's true. Strange, I don't see D71. That's well, of course, the instructions might have a different number for the one I'm looking for. Let's see what number they are on this one. Ah, 36. Okay, so let's take a look for number 36. There it is. All right, not only is it a different color, it is a completely different design. So there is the same decal for GCals in the blue backing. There's number 36. See that? But that could be just a change in the design. And look at how there's 3 different areas of RCS thrusters as well. So saving that for the Adventurer. It's from 2011, not from 2006. And you can see all the remnants I had left from the Enterprise D that I did when I was, well, 5 years ago when I first started. You see how these ones are more faded, though. Yeah. And look. It doesn't just have the Enterprise. Look. It has Challenger, Galaxy, Yamato, Odyssey, Venture, and Enterprise. So it accounts for all 6, but it doesn't account for the Adventurer, which is the Fanon ship that Noah and I thought up way back in the mid-90s. So that's good. It's all working out. I'm not going to delve into these decals. It'll have to be what I get from the GCals. But I am glad I ordered the GCals, because otherwise I wouldn't know what I was missing, quite literally. And I like that the design looks different for the more modern Galaxy class than it did for the old one. It helps distinguish between the old era and the new era. So that's quite something. And I might as well do everything I can for the bottom while I've got the chance. I mean, I may not be able to get the RCS thrusters on the ship. That's kind of what happened with the old one. Okay, let's just take a look while it's soaking. Yeah, you see, I got a little bit. That's an RCS thruster. But you can barely see them. And I mean, you did get the little thrusters on the nacelles, of course, but I'm not going for every decal. But you see the difference? See how the stripe went all the way down the neck? Well, it only goes halfway down the neck on the new one. So that's even better. Since the red dot is at the front, I will put it poking that way. Yeah. And then do number 44 next, which will be on the saucer. All right, that's good. That's good. 44 didn't work out, so I have to turn to the other phasers now. Start with number 60. Go from there. All right, so you can see the first phaser forward arc of the saucer. There you go. Don't worry, I'll take the beauty shot pictures when I'm done. And you can see the distinction between the Syracuse transport emitter and the Enterprise D. Now, those are from integrated in the Aztec decals, but it's... So I don't know how I'm going to explain that these are lighter, but that's all right. Syracuse markings. Because the neck is grayer than everything else, so that might explain it too. Maybe Geordi gradually repainted everything to look like the Syracuse, except for the markings. I mean, maybe Geordi gradually repainted everything on the Syracuse to look like the Enterprise D, but he didn't get around to the markings yet. That could be it. Because he wouldn't have just retrieved the star drive. He would have painted it and everything, but he just didn't get a chance to clean up the saucer. And I think you can see from this angle the, well, you can't quite see it now from that angle. There you go. The saucer dirt from Viridian 3. And the leading edge, which is scored black from searing its way through the atmosphere. Only along the leading edge, of course. All right, time to put on decal number 62. 62. Well, we'll try this on camera. That's good chance. Good, you'll be able to see. Excellent. All right, here we go. Don't break now. Don't break or I'll have to ease you together. That's the thing about using decals that are almost 20 years old. They have a tendency sometimes to want to break. But I mean, I found that with the Excelsior pinstripes myself. I remember that. What I did is I cut them up manually to make sure. Okay, good. There we go. See? All right, now just a little adjustment. There you go. That's it. Adjust a little bit this way. You didn't catch any of that on video, okay. 62 has been applied, so now you're just waiting for 61, which is on the front. And I'm going to cut it out, dry fit it, and then see what trimming I have to do, if any, because just at first glance it looks a little long, but we're going to find out for sure. Because I wanted to bring the edges of the other two decals right up to each other, but not try not to overlap too much. All right, so right here, because you don't want any white in between. There. Trim. There you go. What are we at on minutes anyway? Oh, 48 seconds. Yeah, okay, it keeps stopping and starting, so I'm going to have to stitch all this together. When I get back from my vacation, no doubt, that's when this videos will be posted, I think. Because I usually post on Friday. Now, if it manages, thanks to hotel Wi-Fi, to land on my computer, the computer version of Dropbox, and of course I will be able to actually do it. Oh my gosh, look at that. I think it only needs a tiny little bit of trimming. You know what? Yeah, just the tiniest bit. So just trim there. And just trim equally on this side. Just the tiniest little bit. There. Because you don't want a gap. Whatever you do, don't want a gap. I'm not going to have a gap. Good. Perfect. Excellent. There you go. Whew, that's a great relief. Because that means that the bottom phasers are aligned perfectly. You only needed a couple little bit of trimming at each end. Good. Good. And as you can see, the bottom will be complete. All thanks to the Federation Models PNT decals. All right. Guess my phone's almost out of charge, so here I'm getting the pictures now while I have the chance. Don't worry, I'll brighten up the pictures on the computer later, but at least you have the beauty shots of the completed bottom side. And that's all for today. See you tomorrow. Hi, it's Sean. I'm back again. It's Sunday, July 23rd, the day before I pack up the model and take it to GalaxyCon. As you can see, I've applied the label. I used the paint thinner in the background to wipe off most of the Viridian 3 dirt, but I streaked it backwards along the saucer as I did so. You can see it along the phaser here. So you're left with just subtle traces of it along the leading edge, just like before. And I have used my regular Tamiya Clear to re-gloss the nacelle trenches, the impulse engine, and if you look underneath the model, you will see that I did the leading edge of the, just left the Viridian 3 dirt on the leading edge of that saucer. Hello everyone, I'm back, and this time, as promised, I'm going to do the top phaser decals on the Enterprise D, starting with propping up the saucer, of course. Gotta retrieve some Q-tips. There you go. And you'll notice the saucer looks different than it did yesterday. That's because I toned down the Viridian 3 dirt so that it looked like it had been mostly cleaned up, but there were a few smudges. You know, after 30 years, the dirt would fade. It wouldn't be as fresh as it was when it first appeared. I mean, they'd brush all the dirt off the saucer. They'd get it into the shuttle bay and everything. So that's what I did there. So now it's time to apply the rear, well, all the top side phaser decals actually, starting with 65, which is here, these two. So I'll put them in the water and we'll come back and see how they look. All right. So I won't take all the pictures until it's done, but as you can see, if I rotate it well enough, of course, there you go. All the star drive phasers are on, so those two and those two. And you can see them marked on the guide here. So now it's time to put on it's strange, the phaser circle on the top hull must be bigger than the bottom hull because it has 6 segments. See how there are 6 segments? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 segments for the top hull phasers. Number 53 all the way around to 58. There you go. So these are spares. They're not needed on this this ship. Spares for the underside phaser and the 2 on the sides of the nacelles, as far as I can tell. So there you go, the spares. So once again, what I'll do is what I did before. I will start from the near end, both sides, right beside them, and then the remaining pieces. And I'll do the trimming as needed. So we'll put on the first 2 and I'll come back. All right, I'm back again. You see how I have the bottom, the first 2 phasers on the ship done. Might as well take that picture. It's a nice in-progress picture. So next up is the middle top saucer phasers. Number 54. 54. And then, of course, I'll do the one on this side, and then I'll join the 2 front sections, and that's where some trimming might be necessary, but hopefully not. So let's see if we can put one at the middle sections on camera at least, and I'll come back when they're both in place. All right, got to join up so that there is no seam. And, of course, use the toothpick to adjust it, and the Q-tip to moisten it so that you can actually move it. There you go, there you go, there you go. There. There you go. There you go. Okay. Press the toilet paper down to get all the water out. Here we are. And then apply the microsol so that it seeps in and goes around the shape of the phaser decal the whole way. And stays down. Good. There you go. All right. So I'll turn it around and do the other side, and then I'll come back. All right. So as you can see, there are the 2 top phasers and the picture. So now I will test fit the other 2 phasers and make sure that I don't have to do any trimming before I put them in the water, because trying to trim them while they're still damp would be problematic at best. So 55, which is this one on the right, 56 on the left. So I will try to remember which is which, just in case. Now, there was one other thing that I noticed, and I don't know if you noticed it as well when I took the picture. The saucer phasers are darker and less brown than the star drive phasers. So maybe the more bluish gray of the saucer phasers is helping to give the phasers a dark gray look, the phaser decals, even if they are slightly brown tinted on the decal sheet. I'm not sure, but it seems like what's happening. All right, so it doesn't look like there's going to be any need for trimming the top phaser. It looks like the two halves join perfectly. So I'll soak them both. One at a time, though. One at a time. Start with the right side. Here you are. Should meet right in the middle between the two transport emitters. That's number 55, by the way. So I know where to label it on the diagram. Yeah, good. Okay. That should be enough. There. Yeah, the contrast is really kind of noticeable. Very brownish phasers down there, very dark gray, almost black phasers up here. It's I never noticed it so much on the bottom, just on the top. It's even noticeable between these two sections. That's kind of strange. So let's see how we do here. Good. It's coming off. Yes, I'm putting some of the phaser decal directly over a phaser dirt smudge from Viridian 3. Oh, that's all right. Want to make sure there's no gap whatsoever. There. Joined up. No gap. There. There we go. Good. Well, you see how there's actually, see how it actually came out into the thing? So there might be a slight trim that's needed. Let's see here. Yeah, there is. Okay. I'm going to start by trimming the tiniest bit off this one. There. And then test fit each time. Okay, so that trimmed that much off of it. Yeah, that should be good. Just that much. Excellent. There we go. Okay. That's a relief. So the join section will be slightly not in front of the transport emitters, but slightly onto the left one. But shouldn't be able to tell once it's on. Of course, I'm showing it on video, but I mean once it's on and it's dried and it's applied and everything. Yeah. It's kind of exciting getting the finishing touches done just a day before I start my journey. I booked my hotel in Watertown tonight. I mean, for tomorrow night, but I already booked it today. And the next night will be in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and then I aim for the Eternia Dream store on my way to Washington, D.C., because that's where I intend to spend some money before the convention, buying the any Motu toys I come across or something. Alright, so here's the final decal applied to the ship. At least for now. I mean, there's tons of little bitty ones, but I am not going to apply them. There. Now there will be a slight overlap. I agree. It's almost impossible to avoid. There will be a slight overlap. And I can see where it is. However, it's okay. Didn't trim quite enough off the decal, but it's pretty good. I'll take a tiny little bit of a join line. It's no problem. So, everything's applied. I'm going to put down the cardboard and get the ship set up for its beauty shot pictures, because now it's officially as complete as I need it to be for the event. So I'll be right back. All right. So here are the beauty shots. First off the stand, of course. And then I'll take them on the stand. The stand, which you can see here, labeled for the easy identification of the ship. And of course, once the decals have had a time to settle, I will go over them with the flat clear, just like I did yesterday with the bottom phasers. Alright, so now it's time to put the ship on the stand. Yes, even though it's not the testifying Voyager, the ship is still on the stand. Yes, that's a little joke. Okay, turn it around this way. Bring it back a little bit. There, you can still see the label. Turn it to this side. And then from the front, so I'll have to get down quite a ways to get both the stand and the label in the picture, but there's a top view. And then you have to get all the way down like that. There you go. All right. All right. So there we go. The restored Enterprise D is complete and ready for the convention tomorrow. And I already have, you saw the stand. There's the ship, and you can still see the black scorching around the rim of the saucer and the brown Viridian 3 crash dirt. You can also see it on the bottom of the saucer as well. Some more than others, because that's the right side where it crashed through the rocks first. And there's 2 conveniently placed chunks in the saucer, which is what happened accidentally when I was taking it off its sprue tree. But it seems to work for the thing. Here we go. This is the box in which I will transport the Enterprise D. I tested that with the Hobby Club made in the beginning of this month, and I just noticed that a phaser decal came loose from the back of the star drive. So give me a moment to settle that down again, let the ship sit so that it doesn't keep having these things happen. So let's see here. There. I'll be right back. Alright, so phasers applied again, as you see. Nothing else came loose during all of that. does seem like one of those is just slightly misaligned. Let me see if I can put the microsol on it and just loosen it a bit. Let's hope here. Because I can kind of see the raised edge. Not moving. Okay. That's all right. Remember, not everything on the ship was perfect. Jordy just wanted it functional. All right. So that is the end for today. I'm going to let the ship rest for the whole evening. Turn it around so you can see the beauty shot. There we go. There's the front. There you are. Oh, well, now you can see it. Okay, so that is the near finale. So this will be part 8 of the restored Enterprise D. And you can see the box label. And you can see the kit from which it was built. There you go. So let's see if I can get a few pictures of the ship in front of its box. There, and then one more on the stage. So there is the completed Enterprise D in front of its box. So that's the box from which the kit came, from which the kit was produced, and you can see the phasers here. All right, you see how the saucer is grayish black, but you see how the star drive has sort of a brownish color to its phasers? So that's good there. And let's turn it so you can see the, there you go, see? Good. And you turn it the other way, and you can still see the, there. You can still see the port nacelle missing cover. So that is the end for model number 39 for this week. Well, there we are. I have found a way to put the ship on the stand, the posable stand, and somewhat correct for the lean. See? There you go. That's perfect. So now to get the box in the background. There we are. There's the ship in the background. Doesn't quite show the box from that angle, but if you scoot it forward a bit and scoot the box back a little more, it does show everything there. If you move the Q-tips, the stickers, and the toilet paper out of the way, I think you have a pretty good backdrop. There you go. And don't worry, the can be cropped out of frame. Now, you have to turn the ship. Yeah, and it is tilted a little bit. There you go. That's better. There you are. Turn it the other way. So I think I will give it the posable stand treatment this time, just to make sure that the ship stays level. And since this is the first portable stand I've actually been able to get it working on a ship ever, that is a great thing. And there is a final picture from the back. There you go. All right. So that's truly the end for now for the model. Well, there is another angle. Not one I was really intending to get, but let's see if I can get some shots from the bottom. So what I did is I stood my I stood the thing right on the ground. The stand, I mean. And there's the ship. Now it's quite a different angle than what I see. There you go. See? There you are. So you see how you see very little of the Viridian 3 smudging. That's deliberate. That's deliberate. So let's see how much. Tilting it back a little more. Ah, one moment. Looking up from the table, there you go. There's another angle. You see? There you go. Straight on. Perfect. There it is from the bottom. There it is from the back. And then from underneath. I actually have to tilt it down just a smidge. There. There we go. Okay. So that's it. And I used the regular clear on the Bussard collectors and a deflector dish and the warp grill so that they would glow again. So that's all for now on part 8 of the 2500 scale Enterprise D. If the hotel Wi-Fi cooperates during my journey, I will try to have it, this ship, this model, I will try to post part 8 on YouTube, even while I'm on vacation, because this is what I'm working on the most. So, talk to you later. And if you're at GalaxyCon Raleigh, I'll see you there. Bye-bye.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Taking a few more.
Hello everyone, I'm back again. It's Sean. And I got back from the first day of GalaxyCon Raleigh and got my restored Enterprise D autographed by the showrunner, Terry Matalas. And after we posed for the picture, I asked, and he agreed, gave permission, that I can use the picture of us posing with the completed model as the thumbnail for the final part of this model build itself. And I actually gave him my YouTube channel card as well. So you'll see the that video in a couple weeks once my summer vacation is done and I can get everything uploaded. There's my 3-day pass. There is the certification of the autograph, which is on the sticker on the bottom of the base. And tomorrow I plan to get it autographed as well by Terry Burton. I'll post a short of that as well. Alright, I'm back again. This is Sean from Sean's Model Builds, and this is a short from GalaxyCon showing the fact that I managed on my restored Enterprise D, which has a nice posable stand, of course. Give me 1 minute. I managed on the restored Enterprise D to both get the Terry Matalas signature and the LeVar Burton signature. So you can see here. And they actually both took my YouTube channel card so they can follow the build. Terry Matalas actually said, "Wow, I want one," when he saw my model, and I learned today, July 30th, that it was actually a second-only convention ever, because it's rare for showrunners to be at conventions.